Hello, good morning. Today is Wednesday, the 12th of November 2025, and this is papertrail.com, a daily streaming all about governance, risk, and compliance in the UK for SMEs and mid market firms. And last week, we spoke about supplier due diligence, sanction screening, and keeping evidence audit ready year round from a risk perspective. And this week, we are reviewing directors, boards, and company compliance risk as well as some of the potential consequences for individuals and companies. And today's topic is data protection and where the 4% of turnover disappears. And that 4% is a turnover is fines. And don't worry about the acronyms. This live stream today is plenty of them, but I will explain them during the streaming. And as a disclaimer, this is not a complete guide, although I will focus on reviewing the three main problems. And here we go. So problem number one is the Information Commissioner's Office can fine up to £17.5 million or 4% of the global turnover for serious GDPR or privacy and electronic communications breaches. Problem number two is what are the common triggers of this? Is missed subject asset deadlines or subject asset request logs, unlawful marketing, and uncontrolled trackers. And problem number three is the shelf policies. So don't prove compliance. What I mean is actually having a nice binder, having a nice policy in place, it doesn't mean that you can prove that you're compliant. So the Information Commission's Office wants a live evidence. And we spoke about this last week. It's called lineage. Which is a requirement. What are the controls that you have and the evidence, right? So nothing like a metaphor to get this picture. Imagine a restaurant kitchen and the hygiene that they have. So you cannot see the bacteria until an inspector does and then finds you because they say, well, this is not as clean as it should be. So your GDPR, your PCR are practically the requirements is you have to show the evidence so the inspector doesn't come and find you because evidence is not there. So three easy ways to solve this. Well, easy way is a way to say it. Number one is follow the Information Commission's Office accountability framework, records of processing, the data protection impact assessment, the service, the subject access request logs, and the training evidence. So you have to have a training evidence from your personnel and contractors. Number two is refresh cookie banners and marketing consent as per privacy and electronic communications guidance. And number three is avoid this pitfall, which is the pitfall that we discussed yesterday, is outdated vendor contracts. When you're outsourcing or you have vendors, you have to have a cadence and control what's happening on. Could be automated or could be in your calendar every month, every quarter, every semester, every year. Because at the end, the ultimate responsible is yourself as MD or board of member or your company. The ultimate responsible for the contractors' problems, if they bring some problems or misalignment with the policies and frameworks, the ultimate responsible is still you. So be careful there because this is a common pitfall. As you can see, there are big layers and layers and layers of complexity because not only things that you have to do for your own company yourself, also is if you're hiring externally or outsourcing these services, particularly for SMEs and mid-market companies where there are no dedicated teams, officials or personnel within the company to run these compliance requirements. And this is GDPR, is only one of the 16 frameworks required of any UK company. Then you have health and safety and fire safety and DVCA for fleet management and GDPR, cybersecurity, anti-bribery that we spoke yesterday. So no wonder 73% of UK companies outsource and hire consultants or advisors or delegate to contractors their policy requirements. And this is according to the PwC report issued this year. So what you should be looking for in this case is to protect yourself as an individual, MD, director, CEO, CFO, COO, or a board member. As I always mention in these live streams, that you and your company should have a compliance baseline, or at least a baseline in mind. So you can hire all these advisors, consultants, and contractors on your own terms. So what a baseline look for three things. Number one is the outcomes. Do they automate your accountability kit, the record of processing activities, the data protection impact assessment, the subject access request logs, and all the consent logs? Number two, how they differentiate. Do they provide you one audit-ready library serving data protection, cyber essentials, and HR compliance? And here's this differentiator is a big one. Why? Because I mentioned three frameworks that actually share pretty much very similar information with a different lingo. So if they provide one audit-ready library, means that actually that same library with the right application can be reused to data protection, cyber essentials, and HR compliance. So you see how that these start to get savings to you, because this overlap now can be distributed to different frameworks, reports, or requirements, or evidence. And number four is how they reduce or help you to reduce your risk as an individual with these responsibilities, or to your company. Do they map every record to Information Commissioner's Office, all the categories for instant traceability? And remember that we mentioned you have the requirements, you have the controls, and the evidence. So any compliance audit will look for evidence all the time. So one action you can do today: list your top 3 data uses and confirm where the evidence sits. If it's not logged, it doesn't exist for the auditors or inspectors. So again, it's requirement, controls, and evidence. But there is a faster way, a more reliable way, an easier way to handle all these and all the other 16 frameworks required in the UK, plus the ISO standards, which is paper trail. So you get all these GDPR, Cyber Essential, HR compliance, Bribery Acts, HMRC guidance, ISO standards, NSC, which is National Cyber Essentials, and the ready to demonstrate risk and evidence, all in one place. This is perfect for UK SMEs and mid-market because you use the same control library. Remember, for health and safety, GDPR, DVCA, Cyber Essential, EPR for packaging, no double entry, reducing your overlap by 60% and your costs by 80% because you can use the same library and customer dossier for the same things. It's all in one place. It's a continuous gap analysis. So what is missing? What is required? It's a clear view what is done, what is missing, as I mentioned, and who is responsible to fix things before assurance, inspections, reports, or audits hits you. So you can do it once, do it properly, and move on to the things that are way more interesting for you, which is grow your company and make it more profitable. So join the waitlist, papertrail.com, and stay tuned because this week we'll review directors, board, and company compliance risks. And tomorrow we'll review the 10% trap, which is a competition and consumer law fines. I'm going to explain them. So have a great day. Remember to join the papertrail.com waitlist because everything can be in one place for you. You have full control of what's going on, who is responsible for what, so you can focus in the things that are better to grow your company and make it more profitable. Thank you very much.